Hi, my name is Kareem Terabin, and I'm one of the two members slash co-founders for the TAN team, Garrison Kerrisons. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick update, and apologies for taking so long with this. It's been a rough past couple weeks over on this end, but we're good and we're back on track. So just a quick review. Our product idea is basically we want to take the Kerrison Ronger, which is this device right here, and kind of do with it what people did with the scalpel in medicine. So the Kerrison Ronger is a bone piercing device used in spinal surgery, and it's used for taking small pieces of bone off. It's really good for laminectomies, but it's also used for cutting into soft tissue and separating out nerve tissue from the covering along the spinal cord. So you want a sharp blade on that at all times. We want to do with this what industry's done with the scalpel and make the entire end part from here to here disposable and replaceable. So what have we been doing since the pandemic started? We've actually gotten a fair amount of marketing outreach done. We've built up good relationships with University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, and we've spoken to quite a few spinal surgeons there. And we actually think we have a plan going forward to use them as a possible pilot market. The question is just really going to be, can we raise the small amount of funds for prototyping? Because the material we're using and the prototyping method is not going to be or prototyping a full product. It's not going to be that cheap. So Dave Smith and Gerald Shapiro has been extremely helpful in guiding us in the process of putting together these conversations, connecting with these people, asking the right questions, keeping everyone engaged, and how to develop this market spec. Really, we're taking a reusable instrument and trying to figure out what the potential market is for having part of it disposable. So that's something that we're kind of going along with right now. Excuse me. It's something we're going along with right now. And while we're running into some difficulty with it, we think we mostly have a handle on it. It's actually kind of interesting, right? Because it would be very simple to just take the number of procedures that use this instrument and then say that's our entire market. But market is also dependent on demand. And we don't know what the demand is for a partially disposable Kerrison Ronger. So to make a really accurate marketing spec, we've been interviewing a lot of surgeons and getting their feedback on what would make them make the switch. And we've also been putting together on the other side a cost benefit analysis. So what costs are associated with maintaining these instruments and using them. And we've also been putting together a document of all the medical device complaints for these devices, and we actually have them thanks to a federal database. We've compiled them in the last 5 years, so we actually have a pretty good understanding of what things we really want to look out for in also improving with our product. As far as things TAN can help us with now, we're all waiting on news to see if the school opens back up in fall. And one thing that we don't have access to as easily, that it's one of the things that makes WPI game changer, but sadly during the pandemic we can't get access to this, is prototyping labs. Me and Jesse, the other co-founder, we're both very avid machinists, and this actually started as a fun machining project for us. Hey, let's make this from scratch. Why not? So we can make a full metal prototype if the machine shops were open. We would have had that done by now. 3D printing it is all right, but it's really hard to get these nice precision made slots in 3D printing without some sort of roughness or without losing out on a bunch of tolerance. So really that's one of the things TAN can help out with. Well, one of two things, going back to the marketing spec. If you guys have anyone that has experience making a marketing spec appear out of thin air without really any prior data for what the demand is for the kind of product they're thinking of putting out there, send them our way. But also, if there was a way that TAN could get, our project teams, not just us, but the other groups part of TAN, some sort of exemption status, the same exemption statuses that the researchers at WPI are getting, not to necessarily go on campus, but to at least use the 3D printing lab and maybe pick up the parts from Mitra, because that's really the easiest way to prototype. And not having access to that and not being able to make a new version of this every day is um, you know it might potentially hold us back going forward when we need to start putting something in the doctor's hands and seeing what they think about it. So that's it for our update, and if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or Jesse.